A pilgrim. This is another short story. He wandered from town to town, only staying for one day at each town before moving on to the next. He would watch the sun rise, meet a few people, pet a few dogs, and either get something to eat or eat what was left over in his pack before moving on to the next town. In between towns, he would camp in the wilderness. He would go wherever the wind blew or the sun shone, and sometimes he thought about settling down and he would stay an extra day or two at the next town he came to. But by the time the third day came, he was ready to get on the road again. You could say he was restless. Some called him lazy. All he knew, where am I? All he knew is that he never felt at home anywhere he went to, and so he just kept on walking, kept on wandering. From time to time, people would talk to him and ask him questions. The pilgrim did not know much, but he was honest and curious and pleasant enough. He never started fights, and he wasn't interested in being right. People wondered why he didn't marry and why he didn't have a career, and in turn, he would wonder, why did they marry and why did they have careers? While the world around him changed and cities grew and radios made way for TVs and dirt roads made way for highways, the pilgrim remained adamant that not that much has changed. Progress, as he saw it, was cyclical. It wasn't a path with a destination. It was a continual cycle of birth, growth, decay, death, and rebirth, over and over and over. The pilgrim lived his simple life, content to simply watch the sun rise, walk, eat, and when the day was through, to sleep. On a warm spring day, as the pilgrim was minding his business, traveling to yet another small town, he was captured. It turned out the people that caught him did not much like that the pilgrim did not act like everyone else, and so they gave him a suit and told him to put it on. They gave him a job at a factory and told him to just act like everyone else, to do this job and not complain. These people that captured the pilgrim told themselves that they were doing a good thing, that they were setting the pilgrim right. The pilgrim lasted 3 days at his job before he started turning pale. The people that captured him denied at first that anything at all was wrong. Then, when it became apparent that something was wrong, they told the pilgrim to buck up, to maybe drink some coffee or do some jumping jacks. But no matter what they did to the pilgrim, no matter what kind of pills or self-help books they dropped upon him, the pilgrim kept losing color and soon was so pale that you could see through him. The wind one day was a little windier than usual, and it blew some leaves down the street, and when it came by the pilgrim, it began to blow him away too. The people all chased after the pilgrim, insisting that he stay, but the pilgrim told the people regrettably that there was nothing he could do, that if he stayed in the town too much longer, he would completely disintegrate, and he was helpless to do anything. And so, with much regret, the people had no choice but to let the pilgrim go. They never admitted their mistake or really that anything at all had happened, and the pilgrim continued wandering, making sure never to go to that town again. The pilgrim learned a lot on his travels. He knew what others had forgotten, things that others would not or perhaps could not admit were true. Things about the fragility of life, the uselessness of attachment to stuff and ego, and the perfect beauty of nature. If you asked the others about the pilgrim, they would lie and tell you that he was a terrible person, that his way of life was not one to be emulated. And if one of them ever did admit that maybe, just maybe, there was some truth to the pilgrim and his ways, they risked blowing away in the wind as well.